Hi, this is Stacy with Lily Bean Crafts by Stacy. Welcome back. And if it's your first time, thanks for stopping by. I've really been wanting to make a new acrylic snow globe, and I just went back and looked at some things I previously made. This is a tumbler I made like 3 years ago, and I just loved it, and I really wanted to recreate it with the snow globe effect. So I'm starting with a 24-ounce acrylic tumbler that I got from the Tipsy Magnolia, and I'm going with a bunch of the tropical leaves that I have had that I got from Creative Fabrica. I will find them and I will link them in the description for you. And I just made them some really big sizes because I really wanted the spot that would be where the snow globe would come through would really be a big part of it. So I am using some transfer tape, and I'm just going to go ahead and weed this out, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply these no rhyme or reason to the tumbler until it kind of gives me the window of effect that I'm going to want to really be able to see the snow globe. Now, I did sand down this acrylic tumbler with a 220 grit piece of sandpaper just to make it so that the glitters and spray paints and everything would have something to attach to other than just the acrylic of the tumbler itself. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and continue applying these. This one leaf that I decided to do was really fine, so I decided to reverse weed just this one to make it a little bit easier on myself. I did have to print it out more than once because I tried doing it the normal way and it just fell apart. But I really feel like this one's going to add that extra tropical element to it, so I did go ahead and do the reverse weed to get this one applied. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take some of my painter's tape and put it around the edge of this. It just looks a little bit cleaner when the glitter itself doesn't go all the way to the top on these acrylic tumblers. And I'm going to take it outside, and I just spray painted it with just a matte white spray paint that I got from Rust-Oleum, and I let that completely dry. And now I'm going in with my glitter glue, and the glitter that I'm going to be using on this is called Coconut. It's from Rae Creations. It does have a slight tannish little bit of a shift to it, so it's not just pure white. It's just got a little bit of a shift that really was going to bring out the gold elements when I do all of the outlining on here. And then I put that off to the side and I let it dry for 4 hours. And now I did go in with another coat of my glitter glue to seal it, and I let that completely dry. And now I am going in and I'm able to, because everything is sealed, I'm able to really pull off all of this transfer tape, or I mean stencil tape, really easily. And it makes it so much easier when you are trying to get everything to be clean and removed without getting your hands all full of glitter. And here I just wanted to show with this last one exactly how easy this is to pull off. It all comes off seamlessly in just one piece. Now I'm going to go in with 20 mLs of my Flynn Sisters Fast Set Epoxy. I'll let this spin for about 2 hours, and then I'm going to go directly in with another 10 mLs right over that and let that spin for the full 4 hours, and then we are going to start working on the detailing work. for the leopard spots, I wanted to go with like a champagne gold, so I decided to use my textured champagne gold vinyl that I got from Tech Wrap Crafts. I will go ahead and link this in the description. Setting this on your Cricut, you want to make sure that you do it in the textured mode with more if you are using a Cricut. And then I just go ahead and I just hand place all of them. It's just, I don't know, I just seem to like doing each one by hand exactly where I want it to be, other than just like pulling off the entire sheet and like placing it like in groups. This just always works better for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my time and place these into the way that just make me happy. And when it comes to the detailing on all of the tropical leaves, I did want to do this with the champagne textured vinyl, but the lines were just too thin, so weeding it was just a problem. So I switched over to my regular holographic gold vinyl that I have. I will also link that in the description, and I just wanted to set them up. I did take the vinyl, or I did take the SVG that I had, and I went in and I made an offset and then at a 0.035, and then I went ahead and I sliced it, and that's how I got all of the edging for this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and carefully apply this with my transfer tape. And now I'm going in with another 10 mLs of my fast set epoxy. I will go ahead and let this spin for 4 hours until it is completely dry, and then I'm going to use my black permanent vinyl to do the tops of all of the leopard spots. Once again with this, I'm just going to go ahead and hand place these everywhere. They might not necessarily match the piece of vinyl that's underneath. That never matters. To me, I just try to get it as close to the size as I want it to be and just take my time with it. I find this process therapeutic, so I never mind the time that it takes me to actually put this together. And now I'm going to go in with my final 2 coats of epoxy. I'm going to go in with 10 mLs of my fast set epoxy. Let this spin for 4 hours until it is completely dry, and then I'm going to sand it very carefully. You do not want to sand it hard, or you can actually put lines into the gold vinyl. And then I'm going to go in with my final 10 mLs of my Flynn Sisters Artist Cure resin. Let that spin for 8 to 10 hours, and then we're going to start getting all of the snow globe going. And with that, I decided to make a custom blend of just some blue and green and teal custom chunky glitters that I have from both Rae Creations and from Peachy Olive glitters. I'm not sure how many of these are still available with Peachy Olive glitters. I will check their website and put it in the description. And all of the glitters that I use from Rae Creations, they do have, and I'll get those linked as well. And I just mixed this together until I had a nice chunky mix of both blues, teals, and greens in there, because I really wanted you to be able to see all the different colors in the shift, and I just wanted to make sure I made enough of it to not only be able to do the snow globe, but also I will be doing glittering the top of it and the glitter butt of it as well. This glitter turned out exactly as I was hoping it would. This is sometimes the fun of mixing some glitters together. So, you know, just grab any chunky glitters that you have and just try playing with putting some of them together. Now I'm going in, and I started off by putting a little bit of my solution in there first, and then I'm using this little dispenser that I got from Cowbell that I'll go ahead and link in the description. And this funnel just makes it a little bit easier for me to apply and get all of that glitter in there without making a mess everywhere. So I'm just going to put a little bit in at a time, and then I'm just using my weeder to go ahead and get that going. And then after so long, I do go in and add a little bit more of my solution. Now this solution that I use is from CamiPaigeBoutique, Boutique, and I'll go ahead and link that in the description. And then I'm going in, and I'm just going to go back and forth putting glitter in and then fluid in until I have it completely looking the way that I want it to be. I want it to be pretty suspended, so I went with one that's a heavier suspension as far as the fluid goes, and I'm just putting a lot of glitter in there just because I want it to always show that it's that green color instead of having it all sink to the bottom. Once I get to this point, I'm just going to keep going back and forth, and then eventually I'm going to have to start working with fine tuning and getting all of the bubbles out. So now I'm getting to the point where it's a little bit more of a challenge to get all of the liquid in there. So I'm going in with just some straight distilled water, and I have this curved syringe, and I'm just going to go ahead and just start applying this in until it gets to the point where it bubbles out and won't go in. And then I will be switching to a little 3 ml actual like super skinny syringe, and I will then use that to suck out any of the air in the bubbles. And I just kind of show you how it works the best for me. This was a process that took me time to learn. So I just bend it all the way to the side, and then I'm able to slip it through the little hole. And then as there's fluid that's on the top of the tumbler, I will then go in with this super skinny syringe, and I'll suck out any of the air bubbles, and then it pulls that fluid into there. And I just do this until I get to the point where there's not a lot of air bubbles. Now I do want there to be some air bubbles in there because I do want you to see some shift in movement. I don't want it to just look like just a glittered tumbler. That kind of defeats the purpose of doing a snow globe, in my opinion. Once you get it to the point where you like it, just go ahead and clean that off and really dry that off. And then what I'm going to do next is I am going to take a little piece of the clear piece from a UV DTF, and I'm going to use that to glue it down instead of the little plug. Whenever I use the plug, it always leaves a little bump there that just doesn't even out with the glitter. So I'm going to take this UV DTF here and just put this on here, and then I'll take a little bit of my UV resin, put that over it, and then dry that so that the tumbler will now be sealed. Then from doing all the epoxying, I did get a little bit of epoxy that came down on the rim. So I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and cleaning that up and making it real nice. And then I'm going to take some 91% alcohol and then just rub it around the edge of it just to get rid of any of the white spray paint that seemed to splash onto there. And I'm taking my UV resin that I just get from Amazon. I just get a generic one, and then I'm taking this glitter mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on here and put it under my UV lamp. I'll pop any bubbles first, and like I said, put it under my lamp for about a minute until that's completely dry. And then I'm going to take some more of my UV resin, bring it around, and the nice thing is that it's still really warm from heating up the glitter and UV mixture, so it mixes super fast. Pop those bubbles, get that back under my UV lamp, and then it will be all set. Now I'm working on the acrylic top. With that, I'm going to sand that down and clean that up. And then I'm going to do the same thing, take my UV resin mixture and the glitter, and take a little tongue depressor and just, or a little popsicle stick, and just go ahead and get that all over there, and giving it a couple of seconds to level out so it's not all bumpy. And once I have that, then I'll just go ahead and take my UV lamp and dry that. My first time doing this with the acrylic top, so I really just wanted to take my time with it. I did pop some bubbles, and I'm going to go ahead and use my UV lamp, which I will link this in the description. I got this from Amazon, and it is the best purchase I think I've made in any of my crafting that I've done. I absolutely love it. Take some sandpaper here, clean this off, and then I'm going to get 2 layers of UV resin on here. I really took my time with it, so you want to make sure that you have the room completely blacked out. Because any UV rays that go through are going to start drying it quicker than you're ready for. So I like to make sure I have a lot of time to work with it. And I'm just gonna go through with this popsicle stick and just get this completely leveled out the way that I like it. Pop any bubbles. I actually did have to take like a little pair of tweezers and go through, and that was what made me decide to put on a second coat. If you can get it perfect on the first coat, you won't have to do that. Once I have this all done, then I'm going to put it under my UV lamp again and get that all dried up. Like I said, there was just a couple of little bubbles that were left on here, and so I did go in and do another coat of it. And here is what it looked like after having 2 full coats on here. And here is the finished product. This is exactly how I was hoping it would be. This is my favorite color of green. I love the fact that you can kind of see it shifting in there, because I mean, if we're going to have a snow globe, I want to see the shift. And it all just came together beautifully. And if you like this tutorial, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see everybody again next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.